Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for tuning back in, and really appreciate you guys taking some time to follow my tournaments the last couple of weeks here. And this is our last tournament of the year here, the Toyota Series Championship here in Lake Pickwick. And like I said, I've really been grateful you guys followed me all year long on the Bassmaster Opens and the Toyota Series, and definitely don't take that for granted. So anyway, going to give you guys the second day and the final day report of my practice here at Pickwick Lake for the Toyota Series Championship. Starts Thursday. Tomorrow we have a day off, and sort of give you a rundown here. So anyway, yesterday, like I said, if you guys saw the deal I did yesterday, I fished Bay Springs half day yesterday, fished Pickwick half a day, caught a few, didn't do anything that I was happy about whatsoever. So today, I decided I analyzed the situation, and Pickwick has gotten pounded. It's tough. Seems like it's tough anyway. I don't like Pickwick. I've got a couple areas on Pickwick that I've done well in the past in pre-spawn tournaments, but those fish aren't in them this time of year. And aside from those couple spots, I just struggle on this lake in the past. So I decided today to go up to Lake Wilson, and I figured that, it was 50-mile run to the lock, and you have to lock through. I didn't think there'd be many people up here. So I put in this morning, and the only boat that I saw down here was Mike Iaconelli. He must have had the same idea, so that gave me some confidence. Anytime you're fishing around Ike, you're probably around some fish. So anyway, I fished up here for half a day in Wilson and never had a bite. I couldn't believe it. I mean, everything looks great. It looks perfect. I just did not get a dang bite, and I mixed it up with a lot of different stuff. So if somebody catches them out of Lake Wilson, congratulations, job well done, because I cannot get a bite in Lake Wilson. So anyway, I fished up there in Lake Wilson for half a day, and then I took the boat out and I went and launched in Pickwick, fished over there. So went down the lake, and I started running some offshore grass over there. The grass is not as thick as what I thought it would be. Just from the feel I get and the internet reports I've been reading, it's just been getting absolutely hammered. And so fished out in the grass there for a couple hours and caught a couple non-keepers. And as I'm running back out to the main lake, I'm running across this flat that was like 6 feet deep, and I freaking nail a stump or something with my motor. Trimmed it up, and there's not a mark on my scag, not a mark on my prop, but my prop shaft is bent like a pretzel. I mean, it's vibrating like that. It's where I can barely get up on plane. So anyway, tomorrow I'm gonna have to go to the service crew, get a new lower unit put on, because I had to hobble around the rest of the day. I couldn't run at all because the motor felt like it was gonna vibrate off. This happened at about 1:30. So the range of motion I had as far as being able to go anywhere was severely limited. So anyway, fished around and wound up, catching a couple, decent keepers. But again, super scattered, nothing that you can go back to, nothing that you can pattern. Not a type of deal that makes you feel good about anything. Just even though it's just like you could go back tomorrow and not get a bite. And I fished tons of other water just like it, never had another bite. So to make a long story short, guys, my practice has absolutely stunk. It has sucked big time. And here's the thing about practice, and it's like, I fished enough of these tournaments. You cannot let practice affect your focus and your ability to concentrate on the tournament, because practice is completely irrelevant. I mean, I've had 2 tournaments where one of them I won and one of them I almost won, where I literally caught like 1 or 2 keepers the entire practice time. And then you fish fresh and you just go out and practice, and you wind up and get on something. And that's my plan first day of the tournament. First day of the tournament, I'm just going to go fishing. I mean, I'm probably going to go back into the general vicinity of the lake where I did get a couple bites, try to expand on it in there, and just fish with an open mind. That's all you can really do. This is most of the time in the tournaments, you have some areas where you really want to focus on. I mean, you feel there's a group of fish there. You feel you somewhat got it dialed in a little bit. I don't have anything dialed in whatsoever. I mean, I'm gonna tomorrow, after I get the motor fixed, I'm gonna try to keep it simple. I'm gonna rig up some baits that I feel that has the potential to have a good mix of getting bites and getting quality fish, and really go out and try to fish the first day of the tournament in some type of water I feel there's a chance to win the tournament at. And at this point, I don't really know how to fish to win this tournament. I mean, I really feel from the vibe I get, I think this is going to be a tough tournament overall. I think that if you're a local in this tournament, I think you got a tremendous advantage here. And this is, Pickwick to me is probably, and that's one of the reasons Pickwick is probably my least favorite lake in the country, is certain times of year, you simply cannot compete with the local advantage on Pickwick. When those fish get out on those isolated shell bars, little stump sandbars, that type of stuff, those shoals that are just one spot here and one spot there, you can't compete against that. I drew this 75-year-old dude out. Well, I fished the first tournament I fished here was back in the early 90s, and it was a Bassmaster Top 100 here on Pickwick, and I drew a local in that tournament. And this guy, and back then you could get information from your co-angler. So I said, if you got some places you want to try, let's go for it. And he took me out to some real obscure little ditches and stuff off the flat. He wound up winning the tournament. He caught he caught 18 pounds with me. He jumped off a 7-pounder, and he wound up taking his pros to his fish that he knew about because he'd fished it for 50 years and won the tournament. So when I look back at that dude, you simply cannot compete with that. When these guys know where these little turns in the ditches are that have one stump on it here, or like I said, a little shell bed there, it's hard to compete against. And I really feel that in this tournament that's going to come into play. So in my opinion, in my frame of thinking here, in order for me to compete against that and have any type of shot to win this tournament, I have got to figure out some type of a pattern that will unfold in the tournament. Now, we're supposed to have cloudy days, both days of the tournament. I cannot seem to take advantage of that. I felt that the clouds we had this morning and the clouds we had yesterday morning would sort of get me tuned in on a low light bite. I cannot get them going in that. So from the perspective that I see in this tournament, I'm not going to really go out and try to run the low light conditions because I simply don't know where to do that at. I'm probably just gonna put a big jig in my hand and go fishing. I mean, if I can get them going on a jig and I get the bites on it, they're gonna be the right bites and you can compete with that. I don't really, that water is gonna have to unfold because I know where there's a little bit of it at, but I don't know there's a lot of it at. But the main thing is just going to have to be the first day of the tournament. I'm going to have to stay open-minded and give myself the opportunity and just fish from an instinctual and intuitive point of view. Fish what looks good to me, fish what feels right to me. Pay attention to the wind and the sky conditions and the boat pressure. And if I'm running down the lake and something looks good, I'm going to pull over and fish it, maybe for 5 minutes. It might get me clued into that. So I have no idea how it's going to go. I can tell you though, my practice has absolutely sucked. There's really hardly nothing that I have learned in practice that I feel is going to help me that much in the tournament. For me, it's going to have to unfold the first day of the tournament for me to win this tournament or do good. And even though I'm saying that, I'm confident. I've fished enough years fishing that I'm confident in my abilities to make something happen. So even though I'm complaining a little bit right here, don't get that construed that I'm throwing in the towel or giving up or feel that I'm going to not catch a good bag the first day, because my confidence, it completely shifts when you're on the water. I mean, like right now, and I'll sort of give you guys a mental process what I go through. Like right now, I've got a lot of different things going on in my mind as far as things I want to try and uncertainty behind that. But when I put that hammer down on the throttle Thursday morning, there's something that shifts internally in my mind that comes from fishing professionally from 30 years, and you get into a different realm of focus once the competition starts, and it's almost like you're automatically kicked up to a lot higher level. So anyway, that's going to be the deal. Like I said, I don't know what to expect first day of the tournament. We never do, but I really don't know what to expect in this tournament at all. And overall, though, guys, I don't look for this to be a good tournament. I don't look for this to be what you typically see at Pickwick. Obviously, and there could be some dude that comes in with 30 pounds the first day. Like I said, some local guy. I don't know, but it's it's to me, it's going to fish. I think the overall field is going to struggle in this tournament a little bit. It's just been too hard to get a bite, because a lot of times you can fish some techniques in some areas where if the fish are biting even a little bit, you're going to get some bites. You may not get a lot of bites. They may not be the right size, but you're going to get some bites, and that just has not happened here. So that's the deal, guys. I'm going to go back and try to get this motor fixed tomorrow, lined out. I've probably got a full day of tackle work tomorrow. My boat is a mess right now. With 2 days to practice, I've got everything in my boat. I've got everything stuffed with tackle, so I've got to narrow some stuff down and get the boat cleaned up and organized, and try to get something put together for Thursday. But appreciate it again, guys. Follow me. I'll give you guys the first day tournament report when it comes in, and like I said, we'll see how it goes. But thanks for tuning in. See you.